My name is Wayan Yaheni. Here I'll talk about assessment speaking. So speaking assessment is a productive skill that can be directly with a limited context of speaking or monologue, speech, storytelling, or reading aloud. So we can assess oral language without oral participation. Here, 5 types of assessment speaking. So the type of assessment speaking, for the first, imitative type of speaking performance is the ability to simply imitate a word. And then number 2 is intensive speaking. So frequently employed in assessment like direct message and reading aloud. And number 3, responsive assessment tasks include interaction and test comprehension. So for the example, excuse me, can I borrow your pen? And then the answer, yeah, sure. That is the example of responsive. And then number 4, interactive assessment. So the interaction include multiple participation. And then number 5, extensive. So oral production includes speeches, oral presentation, and storytelling. There is type of assessment speaking. And then micro skill, producing the smaller chunk of language like phonemes, morphemes, and words. And then the next, macro skill. So the speaker focus on the element and the function. And then after that, designing assessment tasks, imitative speaking. So word repetition tasks like beat, pause, and then beat, pause. And then phoneme test. So the test taker read aloud and then repeat it. So designing assessment intensive. Okay, so here directly response and tell where is your mom. So we can use it as the example. So and then they will give direct response. And then the next, read aloud. So read aloud task is read by selecting a passage that incorporates test speech. And then number 3, dialogue completion. So dialogue completion tasks, for the example, may I help you? And then yes, I'm looking for a t-shirt. And then the other will ask which color that you want. That is the example. And then picture could. So in picture could task, a student make a description about a picture. So description about the picture. So also the teacher can give the student 2 pictures, and then student have to compare between picture A and also picture B. And then student will give the response and describe about how they compare the picture. Also teacher can give direction by a picture for the student, and then student try to describe it. And then after that, translation is well-proven communication and strategy for learners of a second language. And then Designing assessment responsive. After intensive, responsive. Now it's responsive speaking. For the first is we have question and answer that consists of one or two questions. For the example, what is the weather today? And then give a response, but make sure you know what you are asking for the question. And then next, giving instruction and direction. So to provide such interaction orally, for example, for the example asking about recipe. What is the best recipe to make a cake, for the example. And then next, paraphrasing. Okay, so paraphrasing, the test taker need to read or hear sentences. For the example, the test taker relay the information or the story. So the test of spoken language are designed to elicit oral production, summarize information, and give direction. And then the next, designing assessment interactive. So this include interview, role play, and discussion, and also game. Yeah. So for the first interview. So interview, here the test taker in interview, the test taker take a seat and then face to face, and then there is a type of interview. There are type of interview. For the first, warm up. In warm up is just like small introduction, small talk, and then the second is level check. So level check is responding about the interview, and then the third is probe. So in here is a difficult question while the interview, and then the last is wind down. So someone that the interview have just need to relax about the question and talk about the result a little bit. And then after the interview we talk about role play. So with role play, open some window of opportunity for the test taker. Maybe here teacher can give some clue, and then student try to make more question from it. So also can make like a conversation in the role play. And then next after role play is discussion and conversation. So talks through topic, maintains, and etc. Number 4, a game that directly involve language production. So oral proficiency interview is when delay use across dozens of language around world, and carefully designed to elicit pronunciation. And then next, designing assessment attentive. Assessment attentive. Speaking. There are frequently variation on monologue. So usually which mean for scoring and evaluation. So for the first oral presentation, a check or list or grid is a common mean for scoring evaluation. And then number 2, picture good story. So picture good storytelling, a picture, a stimulus for a longer story or description. There will be some picture and the student explain about it. And then number 3, retelling story. So here student read a story and then they have to retell. And then number 4, translation. So the text could sum in many form like dialogue or direction. So that's all about my assessment speaking that I described. Thank you.